The recording. So good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I want to share with you, Nikki gave us the ultimate surprise the other day. We have Mondays are death by Zoom. Literally, we Zoom all day, and it's important information that we're receiving. So it's a great day. Yet you're on a Zoom all day. And the last Zoom of the day is our regional Zoom, and she surprised us with John Maxwell. Can you believe it? So
Wow.
cool. Yeah. And
Awesome.
so I just wanted to share with you just a few things that he said, and then I'm going to send everyone the whole video. You're going to see John just like this. But I want to share with you just a few things that he said that hit me so hard and really got me thinking. And we talked about COVID and what's going on right now and how it's affecting us and the world. And he said, he's not as fearful of what COVID is going to do in terms of, you know, death and all that. He's worried about what fear it has instilled in us
Yes.
and how fear is such a dangerous thing. And he reminded us that we need to put behind us what we don't want to focus on so that we can spend the energy and focus on what's good ahead of us. So it's kind of like that bold law: what you focus on
And
expands. And so he said, what I want you to think of is think of what you should put behind you and what you should put in front of you, and what you should put behind you versus in front of you. Behind you, you're no longer giving focus or energy to, and in front of you, you are. And so he gave us, I think it was nine things that he said to either put in front of you or behind you. So behind you, you want to put what you don't have any control over, because that creates anxiety and fear. And what you want to put in front of you is what you can do and what you can impact, what you can take action on. And so the first thing he said is you want to put behind you fear. And what you want to put in front of you is action. Like what actual items can you do? What you want to put behind you are problems. And what you want to put in front of you are opportunities. So when I say that, I don't mean like global problems. I mean like, man, I can't do open houses right now. I used to do open houses as one of my main lead generations. Now what am I going to do? So I could dwell on that and get a lot of anxiety about how I used to do open houses I can't do today. Or I could think about it for a minute and find the opportunities in that. And just think, you could do 5 open houses a day now virtually. Think of it. It's just how you think about it, right, you guys? It's like you could take something that is so dangerous to our mind and our mojo, and we could focus on it and dwell on it and build anxiety around it and get disabled by it. Because when you're like that, you're not getting out of bed. You're not motivated. You're not inspiring your kids to do their homework, right? But when you rethink it and say, dang, I could do 5 virtual open houses a day if I chose to. And what could I do with that? And I could take those Facebook ads that I just learned how to use, and I could create leads around that. So it's just about how you think about it. Now there's like 9 more. So I'm going to send you the video. Everyone's going to get it. And if you're a guest of ours and you're not a member of our office, I want to make sure you get it too. So just chat me your contact information on the side and I will give it to you, because there's so many goodies in there. I literally had chili bumps, and it really got me out of a kind of a funk I was in. So I think any one of you would love to have it, and it's shareable. So the other thing I would encourage you to do is go inspire others. Go inspire other people in the office that may not have read the email. Go inspire people on your team. Go inspire people in your world, because we cannot have enough John Maxwell in the world. So without further ado, the other thing I wanted to share, I'm just going to share my screen real quick, is some wins. And this is a great segue into our guest, Carly and Dan, who I'll have introduce themselves in a minute. So you should be able to see my screen right now. Can I get a wave if anyone can see it? Okay, you can see my screen. So this is how I started my day. And Scott Pickering, I think you're on. You're going to love this. Kelly sent me this. Kelly from your team, Kelly Mothershead. Woohoo! In 4 days and $9 to go, she already has 35 leads in the Facebook. leads. Isn't that awesome? And I shared with you guys the win that Stephanie Wood had, and Stephanie had never ever really engaged with any of our tech in the past or our Facebook ads. This was her first one. She got 39 leads, 3 she thought were kind of bogus, but 36 real leads in her 30 bucks. So, you know, I hope that you guys are aware of the Ubaldini stimulus plan, and if you're not, reach out to any one of the team members and we can sit down and do a Zoom and kind of go through all of your new wins, because you all got raises and you all had different initiatives put in front of you to gain momentum and leads. I hope you're using it and I hope you're doing it. So without further ado, I'd love Carly and Dan to introduce themselves and kind of share some wins from their perspective.
Awesome.
Carly, are you on? Oh, there you are.
I am. Hey, Jessica. Thank you so much for letting us jump on your Mojo call. I've missed having Mojo conversations with you. Jessica and I worked together previously. I was at the Northwest Tampa Market Center as the team leader. I am the team leader of Boynton Beach on the other coast now. I want to talk to you about an agent survival plan is what I'm going to talk to you about. But I brought Dan Dermott, who's one of our top agents, just joined our market center a couple of months ago and has just dive deep into our technology, and he's got some amazing wins that he's had through Facebook and some of the landing pages and things that I don't even completely understand. He's now at a high level. So
well, that's perfect, because we have already done the survival plan and we all took that. Okay. Yes. And what we've been focusing our energy on is actually engaging with command and taking advantage of like the Facebook ads and all that, which we're just starting to do. So any encouragement and focus and attention and insight on how to convert these leads, any of that Dan and you can share would be a huge win.
Well, and they definitely piggyback off of each other, right? Almost everything that's on that survival plan has a piece of command that will tie into it. So it's not recreating the wheel. It's literally taking those 10 steps and figuring out what little nugget or piece of technology and command can help me do this at a high level and capture the highest lead return, right? So Dan, I'll go ahead and let you jump in and start talking about what you've been doing with your ads, and then I can also talk about some of our other team members in the office as far as the success they're having with virtual open houses, virtual listing appointments.
Sure. Good morning, everyone. I'm Dan Dermott. As Carly said, I'm new to Keller Williams, but not new to real estate, and certainly not new to Facebook ads. But as a new Keller Williams agent, one of the things I will say is the command platform, as far as giving you the tools to create Facebook ads and posts that can convert, is unrivaled. I was paying hundreds of dollars a month for a variety of softwares to replicate what command includes as far as landing page creation and lead generation. And the fact that it seamlessly ties in is really impressive. So it's a great tool. And if you haven't used it yet, it's definitely worth diving in. So I've been using command for Facebook ads a couple ways. One is I'm primarily a listing agent. So my first priority is generating listing leads, seller leads out of command. So the tool that I've been using most recently with that and having success is creating a market snap landing page. So under command, in the consumer section, not the designs, you can create a landing page, and command includes a variety of widgets, they call them, and there's two that are important for that. One is the market snap, and the second is the lead form. So you can, in command, do a drag and drop, and it sounds like you guys have some great programming available for you on doing this. It'll walk you through it, but I create a lead form that has a market snap for a very specific neighborhood that I want to farm or market to. And then below that, I have the lead form. And what the lead form tool does is if someone sees your ad, is interested and fills out that form, it then puts the contact information directly into command as a lead for you. And it's really cool. I was literally driving down the highway and my phone buzzes and it's the Kelly app telling me I've got a new lead. That's like the best feeling ever. So it really is a seamless integration. Like I said, it would cost you hundreds of dollars a month and a lot of work to integrate that same set of tools yourself. So what I do is I create that landing page to market a specific neighborhood, and it's just information sharing. There's, it's not one of these, do you wonder what your home is worth? It is, if you live in Isle of Palms, here's the latest market data. And where we've had a lot of success is getting very specific and using a photo in the ad that directly connects to that neighborhood. So where we've had the most success is when we put the sign, the community sign with the name of the community on the ad. And it's a really simple ad, and it just says, own a home in Isle of Palms, ? Photo of the sign, and then the subheader says latest market data. And when they click through, the first thing they see is that market snap. So it will show them the map. It's very customized, and it will give them the latest active and sold comps. So now for no cost and no solicitation, you've just provided a lot of value. And if someone is interested, below that is the lead form. There's a little call to action there that says, I like to say, want to know how these sales affect your property, and people can fill out the lead form. So now you've got a highly targeted ad that you can run in Facebook. If you've been farming a neighborhood, where you can have the really, really hyper-targeted success on Facebook is if you've been farming a neighborhood and you have emails and phone numbers for homeowners in that neighborhood, you can then create a custom Facebook audience with that information. So now you can get, and I don't want to, if I'm getting too technical, Jessica, you'll stop me or tell me to back up, but
no, I'm thinking you're going to get voluntold to teach us a class on how to do this. Who
Harley
wants
is
him
an
to
expert
teach
at volunteering
us a
my
class,
time.
right? No, I love it because I'm like writing notes feverishly for my husband because we live in a neighborhood. I'm like that we're working on farming. I'm like, we need to do this.
Yeah, it's really powerful. I believe for me, it's part of a strategy to stop using mailers to farm and switch to entirely digital farming. I think that's possible with a lot of the data tools we have. So if you have a neighborhood that you've worked before, if you have access to any of the data sources, Cole, Realty Resource, Vulcan 7, RedX, a variety of those kind of tools, that is a great resource to pull. Remind is another one. In our MLS over here, we have Remind included, and you can upgrade for a small fee to the pro version. But you can get a lot of owner phone numbers and email addresses, and then you can upload that list to Facebook, and Facebook will match them. And if they won't tell you who is in their database, but if they have matching emails and phone numbers for someone on your list, they will make sure your Facebook ad goes only to them. So it's essentially the same as doing like a neighborhood mailer, where you're very targeted to a neighborhood, and then you're specifically showing it to people who live there and want that information.
Dana, you got me thinking, just because there's a lot of agents that want to dominate neighborhoods and they've done some mailings, but just think of how much more economical this is to really, and let's just be honest, there's plenty of agents that you lost at custom Facebook audience, or they're just not going to do it. Well, for those of you that are, you can take advantage. So I would challenge everyone to get out of your comfort zone and learn to do this. We can do a class on this, a step-by-step where we all do it together for maybe a small neighborhood, just to say, okay, I know the steps, I know how to do it, because it's not rocket science, is it?
No, if you were able to get on the Zoom call, you can work your way through the process of creating a custom Facebook audience. It sounds more complicated than it is, but creating the landing page, without a doubt, everyone can do that. Like if you can use your smartphone, you can create that landing page. It couldn't be any easier. It's the best tool, and like I said, I've paid a lot of money to have comparable tools. This one's cheaper and better. And then as far as creating the audience, that a few additional steps, but very possible for anyone to do. And the other thing is, if you've been putting your database into Command, you probably have a lot of that data already in there. And you can use Command. Command has the ability to create custom audiences built within it based on your existing database. So if you can do the same thing for all of your past clients as well, right? So if you want to just promote something to past clients, if you think about anything you've sent them in the past, physical mailer, letters, things like that, you can create a custom audience for all of your past clients and offer them a special Facebook ad. So the potential becomes very interesting because it's so highly targeted, where you can do a little video or have a picture of you saying, hey, remember me? And, a click through where, someone can get, some additional information or some kind of other incentive. It's a really powerful tool to get back in front of people who already know you as well. And if those people are already in your Command database, you click a button and create a custom Facebook audience for them.
Yeah, there's so many targeted things. So when you're talking about your existing database, to be able to, like if you're doing client appreciation or you're doing some sort of offering directly to them, because you were talking about how you have basically almost like a giveaway promotion, right? That you target just specifically for your clients.
Yep. Yeah. So we're switching, like I said, we're switching a lot of our physical mailers, and even a lot of our email marketing, we're doubling up. So you can create, if you do an email newsletter, let's say, or an email market update that you would normally just email out to your database. We all know the conversion rate on emails is just okay. 30, 35% maybe if you're lucky, 10% click-throughs. What becomes interesting is when you send that same message to someone in Facebook, right? So in email, we've all done this. We all get newsletters in our email. You're sitting down, you're trying to separate the important emails from the junk, and you see something and go, oh, yeah, I remember Carly, but I'm not interested right now. I click it. When you're on Facebook, it's much less intrusive, and someone's scrolling through, and the most important thing is, for literally pennies, someone is seeing you now next to their friends and family and their grandkids. They're scrolling through, and there you are again. Just a subtle reminder, oh yeah, Carly sent me that email and I never looked at it, or Dan's been bothering me about doing a CMA on my property and I keep forgetting to call him back. It's really powerful and it's so cost effective. So to Jessica's point about reaching out to one specific neighborhood, so I have a neighborhood that I farm. Before we did this, we were spending about $200 a month sending postcards out to that neighborhood. And that was a great return on investment. So now when we switched that over to running a Facebook ad to that same neighborhood, we got we didn't get 100% match. When you do the postcard, you're guaranteed everyone in that neighborhood is going to see it. We ended up with about a 50% match for the neighborhood. And out of those 50%, we ended up getting 80% to click on the ad and look at the information we were providing, and it cost us $12.
You start thinking about this, just to put this in scale, because one of the non-equalizers of real estate is budget. If I'm a newer agent and I don't have $500 a month to mail to a neighborhood over and over and over again, this is the equalizer. If I just choose to do this, if I just choose to get focused and tackle one thing at a time. So this is fantastic, Dan. You give me chili bumps with ideas. And a lot of agents are texting on the side like, okay, now I'm getting them. I'm getting the leads. Okay, I've got 36 leads from using the lead form. And that's the biggest mistake people are doing. They're not clicking Facebook lead form. They're clicking the other one. And what happens is your content has to be so enticing that someone's going to give their contact information. And usually if they do, it's fake. If you use the lead form, it's getting the data directly from Facebook. So you want to use that lead form unless you're some whiz-bang genius that knows more detail than that. So just do that, right?
Yeah, so there's what's also great is that you've got the Facebook lead form, which you can tie in, and then you can also use the lead form through Command on the landing page. And I want to go back to the Command landing pages because I think that's such a powerful tool that people don't appreciate. Especially when we talk about, I love the point that it's the equalizer, right? Budget-wise, when we talk about marketing listings, marketing just listed, just sold, to people or otherwise that you would send out a mailer, you can do it for 10% or less of the normal cost. And Command gives you the tools to drag and drop all of those. So you got a new listing, you create a landing page. I don't know for sure, but I would guess that in less than 10 clicks, you can create a custom website for your listing and get it into Facebook to promote it. And it's something that no one else is doing. So when you send that to your seller, and again, to go down the details, so you can like put your seller into your custom audience, and now they're scrolling through their Facebook and they see their own house. I mean, they're blown away when they see that. No other agent is doing that. And the website that you get out of Command is completely customized, has all your photos, has all the details, looks beautiful on phones and computers. It's a really powerful tool.
So let's pivot to conversion, because we only have a little time, and you are such a wealth of knowledge, by the way. And so Carly and Dan, we love you in Clearwater. So if there's anything we can do, we want to give it back. Let's talk conversion though, because there's a lot of us, you know, getting them, like we went to the class, we did the basic Facebook ad, and now we've got some, but we're like, now what do we do with these people? What are some best techniques you can provide, or what would you teach us that are newer to this?
Sure. So I think the number one thing as far as follow-up is having a system. The chance of you converting someone on the first contact is very low. The chance of you converting them after 6, 7, 8 contacts is very high. We know the numbers work out that way. We have that information. And so then the key is, having a consistent follow-up system. What I would highly suggest is create a smart plan. And again, we're going, back into Command. That's another thing. But even if it's just a most basic smart plan that says you're going to alternate for 8 weeks, phone calls and emails to a new lead. You can get as complicated in terms of automating that as you'd like to, or you can make it as simple as you can make a smart plan for 8 weeks that says call, email, call, email, call, email. Command will tell you to do it when you log in that day. And if you follow it, you will have success. It's all in the follow-up.
I think we have a tendency to overcomplicate things.
But you gotta have a system, right? The CRM, the best CRM is the one you use.
Yep. And so we've got a couple people. Kelly, you have a great question. And Kelly, you had great results already from your Facebook ad, so congratulations. And she says, so we have a template for a great Facebook ad smart plan. If we use that, what else should you do? Just follow that. And actually, to be really honest with you, that Facebook smart plan that Nick Baldwin put together is really complicated. That's like maxing out like conversion. So just keep that in mind. Kelly, did you want to ask a specific question?
No, that was the question because I do have it set up. I set up the Twilio account so it's automated. And I followed Andrew, walked me through the Facebook smart plan. So it's like 9 steps. And I went through and did all of that on all 35 of my leads. So I'm just wondering if there's something else that I need to do with that, or anything to make that a little more effective.
Well, the thing I'll remind you is you just got to stay in that rhythm, and then you do another ad. So instead of 30 leads, you're now at 90 leads, and then you're at 120 leads. And so that's when scale and automation is going to be critical, or you're just going to drown in leads. So just keep that in mind. So you want to get a rhythm and a routine with your day, just like we always suggest that you have a time blocked for lead gen and lead follow-up. Count those as 2 separate things though. So there's specific time that you can do all this lead follow-up, but you still need to lead generate. So that might be the new Facebook leads or the new virtual open house leads or something like that. Would you add anything to that, Carly or Dan?
Well, I would just say we spoke about this yesterday in our coaching meeting. Is 70% of GCI is in follow-up. So if you invest all this time in generating the landing pages and the leads, and you don't have a follow-up system and block that time, like you're saying, Jessica, it's kind of in vain. So I just think don't overcomplicate it, block the time, and have a system. I think that's the best point.
Yep. The other thing I would add to that is, again, to go back to another great Command tool, at a bare minimum, put every lead on a neighborhood snap market update. That's a built-in smart plan in Command. So everyone's got access to it. You don't have to do anything to customize it. You get a lead, put their home address into Command, assign the neighborhood, and put them on a smart plan. They're going to get 12 emails just from that plan alone. So we know from the red book that if you don't know someone and you market to them 12 times, for every 50 people like that in your database, you're going to get one deal out of it. So
Right.
you have the tools in command to do that. Again, in 2 or 3 clicks, everyone can do that, and start building that database that will feed deals down the line.
And the only thing I'd say to that is I'm putting them on a bi-weekly, so they get 2 a month because they are showing signs of being a buyer or seller based off of Facebook, and they're interacting. And so every day, if you just go to your contacts and look and see who's interacted last, those are the people you should focus today's attention on. So it's really kind of slick if that's all you do, and that's the lowest limit. Now, 2 questions. What does the first interaction sound like from you? Is it a call? Is it a text? Is it an email? Is it a video? So I'm in your database. I just got scooped up through Facebook.
Yep.
What does that first interaction sound like? And then what do you find to be more effective, text or calling, or give us some feedback on that.
I like calling. I always go for a call, but the first conversation to me is the easiest one. It's an unscripted, and especially in the world we're in right now, with the coronavirus situation, right? Where you can just have a call and say, hey, this is Dan Dermott with Keller Williams. Thank you so much for checking out my Facebook ad. I got your contact information and just wanted to reach out. How are you guys holding up, given this situation? And, then move into, again, thanks for clicking on the Facebook ad. Are you considering buying or selling, or just getting some information? How can I be helpful to you? So it's a really simple conversation, person to person, to build a little rapport and establish what their motivation is, and then figure out where they are in that funnel, right? Are they close to transacting and very interested, or are they just getting some information? And you can take a, maybe a more hands-off approach. They're going to just be in the database getting some automated follow-ups.
And that's where you can pull in Keller Offer or Keller Mortgage, or whatever else that you wanted to do too. Okay, what about if I'm not responding to anything? Do you just leave me on a nurture? What do you do?
Yeah, so for complete non-follow-ups, again, if I've got emails, are going to continue to go out to anyone we have an email a minimum of 12 times a year. In my database, it's actually, someone's probably getting closer to 40 emails throughout the year, because we send them all their market snaps now. We send them monthly newsletters. We send quarterly market updates. And we have a variety of all the holiday emails and everything else going out. So we have a lot of that automated. But if you're not that far, again, I would stick with, at a minimum, the 12 contacts. And if you have phone numbers, 2 to 4 phone calls a year, depending on how comfortable you are with those conversations.
So everyone find value in this today? Raise your hand. Let's give a shout out to Dan and Carly. This is awesome. I think we've got so many actionable items. And what I would say for any one of us that want to do this, I think all of us want to do this, right? Mm-hmm. Yet if we don't put a plan and structure around this and accountability around it, we're just going to get busy and, silver object, shiny penny, something will happen. Or your kids will need you, what have you. So what I'm going to suggest is that we get a group of us together and we do it together, and we launch before Bold in May. So we've got like a week to do this. We could choose to carve out even 2 hours, get Andrew to do some training for us on the elements of this, and see what kind of trouble we can get into with lead gen. This is the lead gen of the future, isn't it?
The lead gen right now.
We've got several participants raising their hand. If you have a question, we have a few more minutes left. Just unmute yourself and have at it, because I don't know if I kept up with the chat. So if you have a question for Dan, let's hear it from you.
This is Kelly. I have a quick question.
Go for it.
So based on that first phone call, would you add tags based on whether they were a buyer or a seller, just looking, wanting info of the neighborhood, or don't want a response?
So if someone absolutely, does not want to have a conversation with you, certainly I would mark that. If it's an actionable item, I might add more tags, but for my system, we use fewer tags. We tag everyone by neighborhood, because we work specific neighborhoods really consistently, and we want to be able to sort that way. If they're actionable, they get tagged as buyer or seller. But if it's just going to be sitting in the database, I do less tags. But again, that's a very personal decision as to how you have your database set up and how you work it.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Anyone else have a question for Dan? I think we had 2 more hands raised. A lot of woohoos.
I have a question.
Go for it.
So when a lead comes in through a Facebook ad, it's showing up in my database with just an email and a phone number, if that's what they had in Facebook. So you don't have an address to know what neighborhood that person is from. So I've been putting them on the neighborhood snap of the ad that they clicked on. Is that what you would do?
I think that's a good basic step. I would try to have that conversation and just better understand, again, depending on how you set up your Facebook ad, right? Possibly if that person lives in another neighborhood, but they were interested in the one that you were promoting. And in Command, you can have 2 neighborhood snaps. So I would add as many as you can. It's just more emails and more contact going out. But I would try to have that conversation, and that's a good way to understand their motivation. And if they live in a different neighborhood or considering a move, certainly we want to keep in touch with that person. That's potentially 2 deals. And it's a very easy talking point to just say, we've got this great tool called the Neighborhood Snap, and it just gives you market data about the neighborhood you live in. Can I have your home address and we'll put you in the right neighborhood? And most people really like that.
Yeah,
So you try to have the conversation with them first before you did any snap or anything.
Yeah, I would probably try to have the conversation first. And if I got a voicemail, then I would at least do something so that I don't lose momentum on that lead. So I'd at least put them in the neighborhood snap for where the listing that they clicked on was. But if I could have that conversation, I would add more information.
It's always about the conversation. You always want to have the conversation, and you want to be assumptive that they have some interest in the area they were clicking on, even if they were just attracted to the visual of the ad. And so don't overthink this. This is not about perfection. This is about connection and taking action quickly. So put everybody on a bi-weekly nurture for whatever ad area they were clicked on, and the artificial intelligence does indicate that in the ad. You can see in the actual thread of the contact which specific Facebook ad it was. So, and the artificial intelligence does a lot of the work. So don't forget that. But don't overthink it either. It's about if you're in a land grab right now to get as many contacts as possible. And the truth is, for those of you that choose to take action on this, you're the agent of the future. You're real estate 2.0. The agents that fight doing this or don't even just hire it out are going to miss a lot of opportunities. So I really appreciate your time, Dan and Carly. You guys are the bomb. And I think you got our heads spinning in a lot of good ways. And thank you for the reminder of the tools that we have and what a gift and how lucky we are. Because some of us have been at KW for a while. And I think we're taking it for granted a little.
For sure. It is awesome technology. Use it. And if I can be helpful, I'm happy to.
Okay, well, we appreciate you. Before I let you guys go, I want to share one thing. I got to do a quick screen share. What I want to remind you, you should see the KW Connect page. Everyone see that? Let me see if you see it. Okay, I'm sharing the right thing. Good. I want to remind you of something. I'm going to be sending out some good information that Keller Williams has created for you to identify and remind you of your value proposition during this really interesting time, because your value proposition has shifted and it actually has equalized a lot of you that maybe are newer to the industry versus someone that has been an agent for quite some time. I want to remind you, you have these tools. They'll be in an email with the John Maxwell recording. And all the stuff, like, where do I get all this stuff? Every day there's new stuff. I'm thinking every one of us are drowning in new stuff. So just go to KW Connect. At the top, the sessions that are happening all week are here. But down here, if you go a little further, the paid playbook, which I'm going to be rolling out Thursday for our town hall meeting, is there. All kinds of valuable tools, as well as Bold Pivot. So if you haven't made the commitment for Bold Pivot, I double dog dare you to do it, because those of us doing it are going all in on our database and these Facebook ads. So you'll be able to be surrounded by people that will give you the peer pressure you might need to get your butt going. And just want to remind you that there's some great articles down here about balancing life with family and work, and then 10 really great social media posts you can kind of R&D and get out to your clients to remind them that you care about them and love them. Just remember, this is all available at KWConnect.com. So thank you again, Carly and Dan. We love you guys. You filled our buckets, and thanks for the reminder of what we have. You guys have a phenomenal day and go take some action. Thank you.
You too.
Sweetheart. All right, bye.
Bye, guys.